Hi, I'm Carl Azus with an early report card on Friday. Turns out it's passing with straight awesome. This is CNN 10, an objective explanation of news in 10 minutes, and we're spending the first couple minutes talking about potential coronavirus treatments. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control is in the news for telling health officials to get ready. A potential coronavirus vaccine could be set for distribution in late October. This doesn't guarantee that one will be ready by then, but when vaccines normally take more than 10 years to develop and test, this does show that efforts are moving forward and incredibly fast. There have been more than 6.1 million coronavirus diagnoses in the United States. There are 3 vaccines for the virus that are now in phase 3 testing. This means they're being tried out on thousands of people for their safety and effectiveness. But federal health officials have indicated that these large-scale tests may not need to be completed for a vaccine to be approved. And that has some experts and doctors concerned given the speed at which this is happening, given that a shot could become available to hundreds of millions of Americans, and given that many have indicated they wouldn't want to get it when it is available. Meantime, the head of an international pharmaceutical association says as far as drugs go, there probably won't be a single one-size-fits-all treatment that works for everyone. He expects that different treatments for different people at different stages of the disease will be the way to go. He also says the pharmaceutical industry is focused on antivirals, antibodies, and anti-inflammatory medications. With the Labor Day holiday approaching, a U.S. infectious disease expert is warning Americans to keep their guard up. He suggests people avoid large crowds, keep their social distance, wear masks, and try to spend more time outdoors. He says this can prevent some of the cases that spread over other holiday weekends like Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Another big story we're following this season, the upcoming U.S. presidential election. The major party conventions are behind us, the debates are ahead of us. Incumbent U.S. President Donald Trump is now the official nominee for the Republican Party. Former Vice President Joe Biden is now the official nominee for the Democratic Party. They're scheduled to hold 3 face-to-face debates. The first is set for September 29th, and 2 more will take place in October. And the vice presidential nominees, Republican Vice President Mike Pence and Democratic nominee Kamala Harris, are set to meet on October 7th. When Election Day comes on November 3rd, a lot of poll workers are going to be needed. But CNN 10 contributor Kelly Mena tells us coronavirus is creating challenges for that as well. Kelly.
Thanks, Carl. Now let's take a look at current states' efforts to recruit poll workers amid a shortage before November. Tuesday marked the first ever National Poll Worker Recruitment Day. The campaign aims to raise awareness of the need for new poll workers for Election Day as COVID-19 has affected the traditionally senior and more vulnerable workforce. Poll workers play an important role when it comes to the in-person voting process. They are the ones who open up polling locations, check in voters, and help voters cast their ballots, among other Election Day tasks. Some of the more creative ways that states have attempted to boost worker turnout for the November election include lowering the age limit so more teens can serve, paying government employees to staff polling locations, and bringing in workers from out of town. Election officials have also been partnering with local businesses like barbershops and salons, religious and athletic organizations, and even athletes to boost their outreach efforts. With less than 2 months to go until November and the coronavirus still raging, Carl, the concern on election officials' mind is, will their efforts be enough come Election Day?
10-second trivia. Which of these events occurs on November 1st, 2020? U.S. presidential election, first day of fall, standard time switch, or space telescope launch? November 1st is when we fall back to standard time, setting our clocks back 1 hour. Falling back has its supporters. You can get that extra hour of sleep, but only if you go to bed on time. As the days get shorter, the switch to standard time keeps sunrise a little closer to when we wake up, and daylight saving time, which we're on right now, does conserve a bit of electricity. But people with the American Academy of Sleep Medicine want to get rid of the time switch. Specifically, they want to end daylight saving time, which means we'd fall back but never spring forward again. The problem, some experts say, is because it takes our bodies days to adjust to an altered sleep schedule, and that 1/3 of Americans don't get enough regular sleep anyway. This reportedly leads to all kinds of health problems. If the time changes stay, though, experts say we can ease the transition by gradually adjusting our sleep schedules before falling back or springing forward. It's not the first time that the Farmer's Almanac and the Old Farmer's Almanac have had differing forecasts for the coming winter. After all, they're different publications, though they have very similar names. Both of them aim to give farmers and everyone else an idea of what kind of weather to expect for the months ahead. But as CNN 10 contributor Tyler Malden reports, their classic methods of forecasting don't always line up with modern ones. Tyler.
Called the Old Farmer's Almanac and its competition, the New Farmer's Almanac have released outlooks for this upcoming winter. The Old Farmer's Almanac says if you're hoping for a reprieve from harsh winter weather, then this is your year. That's because the publication is calling for a light winter for most of the United States, wet and warmer than normal temperatures with average to below average snowfall. On the flip side, the New Farmer's Almanac prediction is a bit different. It has coined its outlook as the winter of the Great Divide, calling for cold and snowy conditions up north, warm and dry conditions out west, and everything crazy in between. In fact, it really goes out on a limb for yet another season and says there's the possibility of a 2-foot snow from DC to Boston as a blizzard hits the region the second week of February. I'll make sure to check back in with you the second week of February to see if that comes to fruition. You see, the two publications have been trying to predict weather for more than 200 years. The Old Farmer's Almanac was founded in 1792 and the New Farmer's Almanac in 1818. Their methodology stems from a secret formula from the 18th and 19th century, literally locked away in a vault. The Old Farmer's Almanac says it watches sunspots and atmospheric weather patterns when making its predictions, and both give themselves a generous forecast accuracy of 80 to 85%, though many scientific studies have said it's closer to 50%, which is close to a coin flip. So take it with a grain of salt. Meteorologists have a hard enough time accurately predicting weather systems 5 to 7 days in advance. NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, uses long-term weather and climate indicators for their predictions. For example, this year's La Nina. They then grade themselves using complex statistics. NOAA will release their outlook in October, and they will provide the data behind their predictions. It won't be a secret.
Then again, NOAA says modern scientific forecasts are only right about half the time if they're made more than 10 days in advance, and there have been events predicted months in advance by the Farmer's Almanacs that did arrive on time. So there's reason why these older publications have millions of subscribers, though predicting the weather is far from an exact science. No one knows yet if COVID-19 will have lasting effects on our society or what those would be. But Burger King, which has seen a significant bump in drive-thru sales during the pandemic, is saying this could be the fast food restaurant of the future. Lots of drive-thru lanes, a delivery driver lane, a mobile pickup cabinet, burgers moving through conveyor belts. Other franchises are also planning to make more room for cars and less for diners. Will this mean faster food? The burgers will be on the move. Of course, fewer people will be chewing the cud indoors, but the changes are all about cause and effect. Yeah, it's all fun and games on CNN 10. I'm Carl Azus. Powell, Wyoming is our last stop today. It's where you'll find Powell High School. You will not find us on Monday. We will be off then for the Labor Day holiday, and we'll see y'all again next Tuesday.